This video is brought to you by Streamlabs. There are a lot of tutorial videos out there for those who want to start game streaming on Twitch. But what if you want to put on a concert from the comfort of your own home? Well, that's where this guide comes in. My name is The 8BitDrummer, and welcome to Streaming for Musicians 101. Music streaming on Twitch has seen a lot of growth in the past couple of years, especially with names like Herman Lee from Dragon Force and Matt Heafy from Trivium joining the Twitch communities. And there's just so many awesome people that are playing music on this platform. And we in the music community would love to have y'all join in on the fun as well. And that's where this guide comes in. This video is going to contain 3 different parts. First part being the gear section, where I show you the hardware and software that you need in order to put on a successful live stream. Secondly is going to be the setup portion, where I show you how to make your hardware and software work together, which is easier said than done in some cases. And third is the going live portion, where you hit that going live button for the very first time, and I'll tell you kind of what you can expect to see and some pointers in order to increase engagement and just have a good time. Without further ado, let's jump on in, shall we? If you're already a practicing musician, then you're in luck. You probably already have all of the equipment that you need in order to get started streaming. But there are a couple of extra things that you might have to pick up along the way. So here's a checklist of everything that is necessary to get started. First thing you're going to need is a computer, preferably one that is beefy enough to play some of the games that are out there right now. It's not necessary to have the most powerful computer in the world in order to stream, but a little bit of power goes a long way, especially because of how intensive streaming can be on your CPU. And if your computer has a graphics card, then that's a definite plus, because the streaming programs out there can utilize that for the better. Me personally, I'm running a laptop that doesn't have the best specs, but it just goes to show you that you can use just about anything and get something started. The next thing you're going to need is an audio interface of some sort in order to connect your instrument to your computer via USB. Now, the one that I recommend is the PV-PV6. It is a really nice USB audio interface. It's covered in plushies, but there'll be a picture on the screen. And it has enough ports in order to take care of my drum set, my microphone, my computer out, as well as having a headphone out to where I can hear everything as a direct monitor. If you have like a Scarlett Focusrite or a Avid Fast Track Pro or any other audio interface, that will work as well, but this is the one that I recommend personally, and it's the one that I use every day. The beautiful thing about having an audio interface that goes in USB is everything is one microphone input inside of Streamlabs OBS. So that makes it a lot simpler to be able to level and take care of everything, especially if you have a lot of different like volume knobs with the mids, highs, lows, everything like that built into it. And that is why I 100% recommend having some type of audio interface. Third, we're going to need a camera so that we can see that beautiful face of yours. And me personally, I'm using a Sony a6000. It's a really nice and low-priced camera for this type of thing. It's connected to my computer via a Elgato Cam Link. If you have a camera that has HDMI out, you can connect it directly into the Elgato, and it allows you to turn your camera into a USB-based webcam, and it's fantastic. Do check on the website to make sure that your camera is compatible on Elgato.com. Another thing that I cannot recommend enough to make your stream look awesome is a couple of studio lights, like photography lights. You can find them on Amazon for relatively cheap. Add a bit more lighting to your stream and you will just be amazed by the amount of quality increase that you will see. Next up, to hear that wonderful voice of yours, we're going to need a microphone. And me personally, I'm using a Sennheiser E835 stage mic. Plugs directly into the PV6 via XLR, and it's fantastic because of the fact that the action is super close. So you're not going to be picking up a lot of the extra sound from very far away. It's really, really nice for this type of thing, because just let me show you. First off, I'm going to play some drums with the sound the way that it's supposed to be. Now I'm going to remove the noise cancellation, and I'm going to turn the drums off just so you can hear what you're not supposed to hear. Alrighty, you ready? This is going to sound ridiculous. Yeah, something's missing. And that right there is the reason why you want to have a mic with a very close action and noise cancellation, because you don't want to hear all those taps or that extra strum ringing while you're playing along, because it just makes for a really muddy experience, and you want to make your stream sound as good as it possibly can be. One of the last things you're going to need is a nice pair of headphones, preferably one with noise cancellation so you can only hear what's coming from your direct monitor. You don't want to hear the Tupperware or the extra strumming that you're doing outside of that. Plus, you want to hear what's coming through the stream on their end as well. well. I recommend Sennheiser 280HD Pros. They're the ones that I've used ever since I started streaming, and they're a really nice pair of headphones for not too expensive. And that pretty much finishes up the hardware list. Of course, other than the little things like, a mouse, kazoo, extra plushies, a Uno reverse card for whenever you have a troll, little things like that to just add some spice to your stream and just have fun with it. But with that, I believe that leads us straight into the setup. I assume that you're starting from ground zero. So the first thing you're going to need is a Twitch username. And for that, you go into twitch.tv and sign up. That's all you really have to do. They need an email and a password, and you are on your first step to your streaming journey. Something to keep in mind while you are thinking of a username is that this is your brand. You are a brand. Your name is super, super important. So put some thought into it. Like, make something catchy. Or if you're a part of a band already, possibly have something to do with that band. If your name is known, then put it as your name. You never really know exactly where your channel will go into the future. So keep that in mind whenever you are getting started. You might be wondering how I got my username, The8BitDrummer. Well, it's actually pretty simple. I like drumming and I really like video games. That's about it. Now that you have that spicy new username, welcome to the Twitch welcome page, where they have given you a lot of little tips and tricks to get started about getting to know your audience and learning about moderation, new viewer retention, things of that nature. Something that I really want to show you guys down here, disconnect protection is super important. If your stream were to go down, let's say you lose internet, something happens, your computer blue screens, it gives you some time to come back in. So I definitely recommend turning that on. Next up, we have the sidebar where you can find just about everything about your stream, but the main thing we're going to be looking at right now is the stream managers. This is where you control every aspect of your stream. You can see your chat here. You have the editing stream info, where your title goes. This is notification. Whenever you go live, that's what people see. Also the category, which game or music you're playing. Tags for your stream, which are pretty self-explanatory. You can just find the ones that pertain to what you're doing, and also the language that you are streaming in. Another really cool feature is the top bar, where you can see your session time, the amount of viewers that you have, the amount of views that you have had, the amount of followers, and your bitrate. Now, bitrate is ultra important, and we will be going over that in just a moment whenever we get into our broadcasting software. But for right now, check out the quick actions. You have a couple of different things that you can do with your stream here. You can also add more to the side. It's a nice little area to add more control to your stream while you're streaming. You also have the activity feed over to the left. All of your follows and different types of support will come through so that you can thank them. While you are live, your stream will be playing in the stream preview window. A lot of the stuff on this page is pretty self-explanatory, so I recommend that you just explore it to your heart's content. Take a look and see what Twitch has to offer in terms of analytics, community management, and things of that nature. But the number one thing that I need to show you before we move on is channel preferences. Inside of preferences, you are going to find a lot of awesome tools to control the back end of your stream, including your stream key, which is what allows you to connect your broadcasting software, in this case Streamlabs OBS, to Twitch so people can see your beautiful streaming face. You also have the option to store past broadcast. You can turn on mature content mode if you're not being family friendly. Low latency mode is fantastic for if you are wanting to be very interactive with the people that are watching, which is what Twitch is all about. I recommend using it only if your internet is pretty beefy. I can use it on a 10 up connection, so keep that in mind, but I very much recommend it because it makes the chat interaction so much easier, and there's almost no latency now. Twitch has done a lot to make it as fast as possible. You also have the permissions tab that allows you to control who manages your channel as editors and mods. And then another really cool thing that they've added recently is your accent color. This allows you, while you are being shown on the Twitch pages, for your stream to pop out and have the brand color. A really nice little tool for extra branding. Make sure you press save changes after everything because you don't want it to be all in vain. Now comes the big one. This is your broadcasting software. Broadcasting software is where everything is controlled on your end, and it is a little bit intimidating whenever you're first starting out. But trust me, it's a lot more simple than it seems. Welcome everybody to Streamlabs OBS. This is your command center. This is your control panel. This is basically everything that you need to stream in one place. And it's fantastic. As you can see though, there's not much here yet. The first thing that you want to do is log in with the Twitch username that you have just created. This is going to connect everything on the back end that you've already set up on Twitch to your Streamlabs OBS, so you don't have to worry about any of that setup in the future. After logging in, the next thing that I recommend that you do is open up the settings panel and go to Auto Optimize. Now, when you click on this, this is going to set up your Streamlabs OBS to the best that it can be. And what I mean by that is it's going to check your bandwidth, it's going to check out your system settings to give you the most optimized streaming settings. And I recommend doing this just because you don't want to have to play a guessing game with bitrate or anything of that nature. It's just easier to let it take care of it. And now this leads us to the next thing that is super important, which is bitrate, and that is actually taken care of in the output settings area here. Bitrate is the rate that you are uploading content to Twitch's servers. As you can see here, I'm at 6,000 bitrate, which is the maximum that Twitch can run. Bitrate is controlled by your upload speed. If your upload speed from your internet provider is 100 up, 1,000 down, then you're going to be able to run 6,000 no problem. Now, let's say you're running a stream at 5 up, 50 down. What I recommend doing is setting your max bitrate to half of your upload speed. So it would be 2,500. That will allow you to push a pretty crisp 720p stream, no problem. If you have 100 up, you're not gonna have to worry too much about bitrate. If you're ever dropping frames or anything like that, consider lowering it to give it a try. And that usually fixes most of the issues, but keep that in mind. Half of your max upload speed is your max bitrate. Next up in settings, you have your encoder. There will be two options here. 264 is your processor, while NVENC, if you have a NVIDIA graphics card, is your second option. I recommend using NVENC if you have a graphics card, just because of the fact that it will take a lot of the pressure off of your CPU. Audio bitrate is 160. That is the max that Twitch can handle, so keep that the same. That should be just fine. You also have the option to record your stream directly so that you can make highlights of your content later on. But next up, we have audio. How in the world do we get this little bar to light up every time you say a word or play a note? It's relatively simple. Everything on here is going to basically mimic your Windows sound settings. As you can see, default is already taken care of. It will also take care of this during the auto optimization that we did earlier. But to make sure if you ever have any issues, you can come in here and click the exact ones that you need. Next up, we have video. Basically, everything was taken care of with the auto optimizer. Base canvas resolution is what your computer is displaying, while output scale resolution is what you are going to be displaying on Twitch's page once you go live. FPS, of course, if you want to run a 60 frame per second stream, keep that at 60. If you want to down it to 30, you can. There's a bunch of different options, but depending on what type of camera you have, it will automatically be set up through the auto optimizer as well. I know having to configure all these settings and stuff seems a bit daunting, but don't let it bother you too badly. Mostly everything is going to be taken care of by the auto configuration tool. Now that we've taken care of the general settings, now it is time to take a look at your workstation. And your workstation is going to consist of two main features, one being scenes and one being sources. A cool way to remember how scenes work is think of it as a book. A scene is a page of a book. Whenever you turn the page, you can see the pictures, you can read the words. The sources are the pictures and the words that are on the pages. Getting started, what you'll do is you will press add a new scene. Of course, you'll give it a name, and you will see here that there is nothing in the scene. Now comes the time for you to put your stream together by adding sources to the scene that you just created. First thing you want to do is click on the little plus here, and now you have all your different options of things that you can add to your stream. First thing you want to do though is to get that camera up so that you can see your awesome performance. Go ahead and click add source and name your camera. If everything's connected and all goes well, you should be able to see yourself on the screen with no problem at all. You can check which devices are available through this little option menu here. As you can see, I have two different webcams that are connected, the one that's built into the computer and my Camlink camera. Mostly everything will be auto-configured, but if you ever need to, you can go and configure the video and actually change up some of the settings. Once you're done, click done. And now you're on the screen. One little thing to note is that whenever you add a video capture device, it will also add an audio device to your mixer. Because of the fact that we're using an audio interface, we will want to mute that so none of the sound comes through your camera instead of just your audio interface. I also recommend doing that to desktop audio as well, because of the fact that your desktop audio will be routed through your audio interface as well. Now that we have the video feed set up, you are good to go to add even more to the stream. As you can see, I have added an image, which happens to be my little drummer logo, which then you can move move around, resize it to your heart's content, basically do anything you want to with it. Something cool to keep in mind is that the sources are controlled via a layering system. So you can stack sources on top of each other or hide them behind it by moving it up and down. Super simple. You can also group sources together so that they are moved around at the same time. So yeah, Streamlabs OBS is pretty simple to use with the scenes and sources system. It makes it really easy to get started and customize your stream to your heart's content. Now, there is one other thing that I want to go over, and it's going to help you with engagement and really livening up your stream, and that is the alert system. If you've ever been to one of my live streams, you know that alerts play a massive role in both engaging the audience and just having a really fun time. I catch myself laughing at my alerts more than just about anything because of the timing and things of that nature, but it's super simple to set up, and I cannot wait to show y'all this. So for setting up your alert box, you're going to want to go to streamlabs.com and sign in with your Twitch username. And then you'll have a lot of different options, including analytics, which shows you everything that's come through your stream support-wise, recent events, which is something that I recommend you keep open on your screen so that you can see alerts as they come through and thank people directly whenever they are supporting. But the main place that you want to start is here in the alert box. Basically, everything is controlled through this system. You can actually set up a widget URL right here that you can then copy and paste into Streamlabs OBS. Now that you have that link copied, you can come back into Streamlabs OBS and add another source. This time you're going to add a browser source. Click on add source, rename it alerts or whatever you want to. I'm just going to keep it the default. You paste it right here. Once you have that URL posted in, go down to the customization options area, click on follows and set up something that has to do with you. As you can see here, I have tails jumping about. What you do is you test follow, and then you will see it on the screen right in the corner. Wherever you put it, you can move it around, you can resize it, you can make alerts, any type of thing that you want to do. Your limit is your imagination. And it's so much fun to do. There are a lot of different ways to customize alerts. You can even do custom CSS alerts, which come on the screen in a crazy way. This is a very basic alert down in the corner, but it works for what I'm doing, and hopefully it works for you too. Whenever it comes down to it, it takes a little bit of getting used to, but once you wrap your head around it, it's a really fun system, and streaming is going to be super easy for you. I already know it. But now we're going to start talking about what to do whenever you go live for the first time. Hitting the go live or start streaming button for the first time is daunting, to say the least, but it doesn't have to be. At the end of the day, you're sharing something with people who might not have seen it in a cool new way over the internet. But I have a challenge for you. Whenever you hit that go live button, remember one thing: have fun. Have fun. That is it. That is the most important thing about streaming that sometimes gets lost in translation. With all the setup, with all of the numbers and everything like that, it's so easy to get caught up in that type of stuff, man. If you're performing for a crowd of people, you're going to want to put as much energy as you can into that thing. And streaming is no different. Have as much fun as you possibly can while you're in front of people. Here's a list of things that have helped me to move forward. Number one, have fun. Have I said that already? Number one, talk to your chat. Interact with people, man. Have a good time. It's like a big old party and they're all there to watch you perform. It's just like a concert, but you get to talk directly to the people that are watching. It's such a different atmosphere. It's such a fun, community-based atmosphere, and there's nothing better. Put the music on the back burner if you have to, but make sure that you are interacting at all times. Number two, say thank you and keep a heart of gratitude, because people want to support you. And people don't have to support you. It is really easy to get caught up in the numbers game, but who cares? You are having a good time playing music for those who want to watch you play music. Number three, speaking about numbers, don't worry about viewer count. You're gonna see people in your chat, or you're not gonna see people in your chat. That's okay. Everything takes time. But watching a viewer count go up and down, it affects you a lot more than you think it does. Do yourself a favor, hide the viewer count, and just have fun, whether you're having fun with one person or 100 people or 1,000 people. The most important thing is that you're having a good time. Number four, be consistent, but stay sustainable. It's really good to have a schedule. It allows people to find you and know when you're going to be live. They can actually make plans around when they can watch you. But getting into the mindset of, oh man, I'm gonna stream for 7 hours a day, 6 days a week, take Sunday off, it's gonna be amazing. That's going to burn you out. I'm going to be truthful with you. Make it to where you are able to do other things other than streaming. If you're wanting to be serious about this, make sure that you are in it for the long haul, because it's very easy to get burnt out. As long as you make it sustainable, you'll be good to go. Number 5, and probably most important, other than having fun, share the love. First and foremost, Twitch is a community, and it's so much fun to see people react with you sending people their way. Raids and hosts are fantastic tools to be able to really make somebody else's day. One of the main reasons why I'm where I am right now is because of a raid that happened at the beginning of my career. I got raided by a massive streamer, and it really set me on a path to moving forward with this whole thing. That was the day that I was like, man, I really want to try to make this happen. And you never know what type of positivity you're going to be bringing to somebody with that type of support. So keep in mind to always share the love and just make it as fun as possible. Hitting that going live button is going to be a little bit crazy for the first time, but I really hope that this video helped you all to move into the right direction, get the right equipment that you need, and just get everything ready for an amazing performance. I'm really looking forward to seeing you guys on the platform. I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys bring to the table. Be sure to share it with others, man. It's going to be a fun ride. But once again, I wish you all the best of luck. Thank you very much, Streamlabs, for reaching out to make this video happen. Don't know what else to say other than good luck with everything, have fun, and take care.